worth falling for. Oh, and with open arms I'll carry yours.
Hi, Thrifting with Rebecca here, Rebecca. I'm doing this video after work because tonight I have a whatnot auction, and I wanted to kind of show you how I set up for that and how it kind of works. You know, I talk about whatnot a lot in my videos, so I thought it would be a good idea to show you what to do, or, you know, the best that I know how to do. Yeah, so first I gotta go turn the TV down because it's really loud. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So the first thing I do when I decide I'm gonna do a whatnot auction is I decide what kind of auction I want to do. Do I want to do glass? Do I want ceramics? Do I want to do them both? Totally up to you. Whether you do jewelry, clothes, doesn't matter. It all works the same way pretty much. So the first thing I do is usually I have sourced by the time I am going to do an auction, so I have new things to include in the auction. So I will mix the new with old. Usually I will, like, say I did an auction on Monday and certain things didn't sell, I'll skip an auction, and then in the next auction after that I will throw those things back in. So they will be the old. I will mix in the new with old. Now, when I first did my one-on auctions, the very first one, I had to individually list each one into the auction. Once you've done a couple auctions, you can clone from one auction to another. It makes it a lot much easier, you know, but, you know, I guess technically not, but it makes it easier. So you can clone a lot of items, you know, you just change the number or letter that's going to be before them, you know, because I number my items 1 through whatever the last one is. And then I write them down on a list. I know a lot of people don't do that. I do, because I want to keep track. I will write down who won it. Just use their username, who won the auction or bought it. So, because I want no mix-up of who got what and who didn't get what. Especially when you do buyer's choice. That's more difficult because whatnot is just listing it as buyer's choice. So when you sell it, something in buyer's choice, and you go to ship the label, it just shows up as buyer's choice. So you've got to remember who in the 10 items you had up for people to get, you have to remember who got which item. So definitely, if you do buyer's choice, you should list those, or at least write them down, and then put the person's name next to each one that won that item. But so I don't do buyer's choice very often. They haven't really worked out well for me. People seem to like you to individually, but tons of people do buyer's choice, and it works for them. So that's great. They can, you know, that's great for them. But so I write each item down on a notepad, numbered, exactly how I have them placed in the auction. I have them numbered 1 through whatever the last one is. So, but the first thing I do is I decide what I'm gonna sell, and then I put a table aside that I will start putting those items out over the next day or two it takes me to set it up. It doesn't take a day or two, but I don't do auctions every day, so I have gaps where I can do that. I will put all I'm gonna show you, like right here. So when I decided to do this auction tonight, I started to assemble all the items that I wanted to sell. And I usually stick to like an even number. I don't know why. It's crazy. Anyway, so I go and assemble them on the table. First, I just put them all on there. And then once I've listed them in the auction and I've numbered them, then I put them in order of the auction. So it's easy for me to just go through the lines. And if something, it doesn't matter where you put it, if something sells or not, because you get a list, you're going to get, when you go to do the labels and stuff, you will know every person and what they bought, so you'll be able to separate. But usually, first, after I'm done with an auction, I will put away whatever didn't sell. And everything that did sell will then move over to the shipping station over there. and then I will do the labels, and then and that's the thing. Like, hold on. For me, I print my labels at work. My boss is really cool, and he lets me do that. So even though I have this label maker, I just haven't figured out how to use it and how to hook it up. I've tried, and I just need more time. But I will get it. And my daughter gave me this because she used to make homemade candles, and she had all this from that, and she gave that to me. And so anyway, I print my labels at work, and then I write on the back of each label who bought what that person bought, and that way when I go to pack the stuff up, I can do it one label at a time. I just bring that person's stuff, and then I package it up. So anyway, when I make my list, I list all the items into the whatnot auction. I set the table up, and then, okay, people always have a lot of new sellers have questions about how to run the auction. Okay, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Okay, so at this point, I have listed the items into my auction. I have written a list. My table is set. They are in order, and I'm ready to do the auction. There is several ways people do auctions. Some people use their laptops to they put it on a table or something, and then they point the camera at themselves and they sit there and show their stuff. Some people use a tablet or an iPad. I do not. I use my laptop to control the auction, and I use my phone to just as the camera, showing the items. I do not do anything from my phone other than look at the comments and respond by speaking to the people that are commenting. But otherwise, I don't touch anything on my camera, my phone. Everything gets controlled by the laptop that will be sitting next to me. So I'm going to show you that real quick. Okay, so this is my light box. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. Okay, so this is my light box that I use. It's a bigger size one. It's not the biggest. I've seen Jocelyn Crazy Lamp. He has this gigantor one, which is cool. One day, hopefully. Anyway, I set my laptop right there on that box, and then I have my mouse on this. And then I use here's my notepad that I will have, that I've already made my list of all the items. It's like 3 or 4 pages long, I don't know. And then I use my scale because of the height. So I use my scale, and then I use just a cheapy phone holder from Amazon. It's nothing, if I can get it to sit right. Okay, and then you just put your phone here, all right? Your item is gonna go, whatever the very first item's gonna be. Let's put him there. And then laptop is there to control. Phone is here simply as a camera, okay? And what I will do is on the laptop, I will hit, I'm sorry, I don't have my laptop. It's upstairs. My son is using it. Anyway, you'll see when you look on the Whatnot app how it looks, and what you do is you pin an item. Like, say the very first item in my auction is this Tanala bird, and I would pin that item, meaning it will go, the name and title of it will show on the screen on my phone, and the people watching will be able to see the name of it, and they can also see the weight by clicking on weight, and then they will know, what the shipping will be on that. And then from my laptop, I will click start auction. A box will pop up that tells me to choose 15, 30, 45, whatever seconds I want to run the auction for. And then the price is usually set already, because when I listed, I would have listed a starting bid. So they automatically put that in for you, and then you just hit start auction. And a clock will start on the right-hand corner of your phone, and people can slide the button over if they want to bid on the item, and it'll go for, I usually do 30-second auctions. I do not do 15 that doesn't give time for people. And a minute, I think, is too long. You're trying to move it along. People are having to wait 60 seconds for each item. And it's not just waiting for each item. You're describing it. You're talking about it. People are talking to you about it. You know, all of that is happening. And then you have to like sit there and show it. You know, any damages. Is there anything wrong with it? Is there any signatures, markings, anything they're looking for? And, you know, people are looking for that. And all of that takes time. So to add a whole nother 30 seconds just is unnecessary. 30 seconds is enough time for people to decide if they're going to buy it. You know, it's just not, it's simple. It's really not that complicated. And I keep this sign in the back because it has my, you know, platforms that I sell on it. And so I just keep it in the back for people to look at. And once the auction is over, if nobody has bid on it, I usually mark on my paper, I'll write no, that no one bought it. But if somebody buys it, I usually write sold next to it. And I will write their username. Like how mine says Thrifting with Rebecca, I would write that. And but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. I mean, it's totally up to you. There's no rules. We make there. I mean, there's rules, but we make, you know, the choices ourselves. So I'm gonna turn this around. So, and then, you know, after the first initial setting, hold on, I'm gonna put the camera down so I don't have to hold it. So after the first initial, once you ran the first auction, hold on, there you go. Then it's a breeze after that. You just go to the next one. I number, when I list my items in an auction, I number them 1 through whatever the last number is. And my paper is also listed that way. That way, when somebody calls out a number in the comment, obviously they're not going to talk, but they'll comment, hey, can I see number 46? It's so fast, you can, instead of scrolling, trying to find it, you can look in your notebook and say, oh, number 46 is this. A lot easier. I can get it over there into the light box, and they can be looking at it while I find it in the whatnot, while I scroll down. And they can be, you know, making a decision instead of waiting for you to go look it up and find where it is. And apparently there's a bar at the top where you could type it in, but even that takes more time. So I don't do that. My strategy seems to work really well. I probably do a giveaway every 15 to 20 items. There's often times where I forget to do the giveaways, and I will tell people, try to remind me to do the giveaways, but sometimes they don't remember either. And I'll notice them at the end and be like, oh my God, I didn't do it. But I try really hard. I will write right at the top of a page, giveaway here, that way to remember. So that I will try and do a video where I have my laptop and I can show you on the website. But there are tons of YouTube videos you can watch on it. And I often do my auctions at 9 o'clock at night. Whichever day I do them, it's usually at 9 o'clock at night. I sometimes, on occasion, do them on a Saturday at like 10 o'clock. But that's pretty much the only daytime one I ever do. I like 9 o'clock time slot because it's later and there's not a lot of resellers after you. You know, there's usually some at the same time as you, but the people that started at 7, 8 o'clock, theirs ran out by now, by the time you're starting or soon after. And those people that were in their auctions that they have left now, they are looking somewhere else to go. And, you know, they will usually end up in yours. And because they're hopping from auction to auction. And not only that, it's just at 9 o'clock, my kids are in bed. They go to bed every day, even though they're teenagers. This is by their choice. They go to bed at like 8:30 every day, even on the weekends. It's crazy. And so I'm kind of free to just be there to do my auction and hang out with people. I often run through my list a full time. I usually move it along and go quickly through the list. People don't want to sit there waiting for you to go look for stuff, you know, unless they specifically are asking you to go look for something. They want you to move it along. They don't want to be in auction for 2 hours. They need you to Get through your list. And so I will get through my list, and then I will sit and hang out for another hour to an hour and a half afterwards. And I let people know that come in, I've already been through my list. I'm just hanging out, talking with everybody, letting people look through their store, shout out numbers, things they weren't here to see. They can call out numbers they didn't see that haven't sold yet. And then I can show them. And I have made so many sales that way. Usually my initial run through the list makes some sales, but it's usually that time afterwards that I hang out and let people, take their time about it, that I make the most money, that people keep coming back. They'll leave and go get something from another auction, then they'll come back and hope that the item they wanted is still there. And so that's what I do. I hang out. If it's a Friday, I'll hang out a couple hours and talk to people. And a lot of new sellers will come in and they'll ask me questions, and I can help them and teach them. And it's one of the best times. I love that when they do that. And then they stay and buy stuff, or a lot of people that just are collectors will come in. It's pretty great. And it's just a relaxing time of the night. It's quiet. I can play music and no one's bothering me, and I could just have fun with it. I could be relaxed. I'm not nervous about, sometimes when I've done them at like 6 or 7 o'clock, I'll be nervous because I know that a high-end seller is coming on an hour after I started. And, a lot of people are going to veer over there. And it's when I try to look for times where the high popular sellers are not on, so that I have at least a shot at selling some of my stuff. And they are awesome, believe me. The really popular sellers like JDA Collectibles, Two Glassy Sisters, the Niche Lady, Crazy Lamp Lady, as you all probably know. Niche Lady, did I say the Niche Lady? And there's a lot of them, and you can learn so much from them. You win. Oh my goodness, I love going in her auctions. She has so much awesome glass. It's crazy. And especially the funnest, I would say the funnest one to go in is my Flippin' Van Life's auction. She is hilarious and she is fun, and she starts everything at $1, even though the item is worth like $100 or $100 and something, and people really compete in those. JDA Collectibles, he's like that too. He's a lot of fun. He laughs a lot. He makes jokes. He just makes it interesting. He makes it really interesting. And Misty, Thrifter Hunter Vintage, or Thrifter Junker Vintage Hunter, she's also on here, and she has really good auctions. She's hilarious, and her YouTube videos are great. So yeah, there's a lot of sellers you can watch and learn from, and they don't have to be popular sellers. A lot of people have been selling on Whatnot way longer than influencers, and they are masters at it. So you got to look for those people that have been on there a long time, a lot longer than me, or a lot longer than a lot of the influencers. I've only been on here since August, since a lot of the influencers started. And I learned so much from just regular everyday people that, helped me. So anyway, once I get to the end of the auction, I close it down, and I usually just close everything down and go to bed. And then the next day, I will start to I will print out the labels and start to evaluate how to get everything out, because you only got 1 to 2 business days. People do take longer than that to ship stuff out. The most I'll go is 3 days. I like to get it out as soon as possible, because you're not gonna get paid until you get your stuff out and they get it. You just won't get paid for the stuff. So I hope this video was helpful to you. I'm gonna try and do another one where I do show you on the computer. I was just trying to give you the gist of the layout of it. Invest in a label maker. It's gonna save your life. As soon as I can figure out how to use mine, I will do that for me. I just have the benefit of my boss letting me print my labels at work. But there's gonna come a time where that's gonna have to stop. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And please check out some of my other videos. And I sell on Facebook, Mercari, eBay, and Whatnot. And I do have an auction tonight at 9 p.m. for the glass. So I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Hearts worth falling for. Oh, and with open arms I'll carry you.